Here's my set of Zodiac nails for the Vogue challenge. I had serendipitously painted this canvas right before NTNA started again, so it's perfect to display these nails because painting canvases and putting nails on them is kind of what I do. So why don't we get a closer look at these? Our challenge was to do 10 nail tips, 5 of which represent your zodiac sign. Mine is Scorpio, and the other 5 to represent a complementary zodiac sign, for which I picked Capricorn. You can pause here for a list of all the materials I used in this challenge. I started with some pre-made stiletto nail tips and did an ombre from black to hibiscus and black to mermaid on each respective hand. When I do ombres, I like to mix all the colors in advance to make sure there is a definite shift in the hue between each nail, and always mix more than you think you will need, because dust, fuzz, cat fur, they're all terrible hazards of our occupation, and you never know what might happen. You'll need to wipe that nail off. I give all the nails a coat of I'm a Matte because I want to do some hand painting designs on them, and the matte top coat will help prevent the gel paint from spreading out. I'm doing a nebula design on the pinkies and part of the ring fingers so that I can include the constellations for each of the signs I'm representing. Using very little polish on the brush, apply lacquer in white onto random spots on the nail. Then use a brush dipped in alcohol to thin out the gel polish for a smoky effect. To complement the teal and coral color scheme, I thin down raspberry and Tropicana with alcohol and use them to tint the white areas. Lacquer and Frosty diluted with Simply Shine gives this a starry effect. I used a dotting tool, lacquered in white and silver spider gel to make the constellation, and here's the final nebula nail. Scorpio is a water sign, and I was inspired by the iconic woodblock print, the Great Wave off Kanagawa, pictured on the left here. And I came up with this wave and circle motif for the nails. I wanted the pattern to flow across the nail set, so I was very careful when I completed one to line them up and mark where the pattern edges were on the next nail. When I got to the ring fingernails, I had the pattern go from white to gray to black in a gradient, so it would fade into the nebula portion of the nail. I then mixed lacquer and purple with the Simply Color Mermaid to make a very dark blue to outline the waves, because I really wanted those to pop on the nail. Capricorn is an earth sign, so I referenced several pictures of quartz crystal formations like the one here on the left to come up with this pink quartz pattern to complement the hibiscus color on the nails. I then went in with lacquer in raspberry and 50 Shades of Red to darken up the pattern and give the crystals some depth. And here are the completed nails top coated in Simply Shine. I'm highly unlikely to do this type of detailed sculpting on a client sitting in a chair, so what I'm going to do is apply 2 layers of Wildflower's Liquid Freedom to a press-on nail and do all my sculpting on that, and then when it's cured, I can pop it off and the inside will have a very nice curved surface I could just affix to a client's nails. I'm going to break down this complex sculpture into separate pieces to make it easier to work with. I've made a sketch of my piece to scale and covered it with cling film. And I'm using the modeling resin in blush to create the separate pieces. I'm doing the pincers, the main body, the tail, and each leg separate. I'll add a second layer while it's still in the plastic and then flip it over to bulk up the backside so it's not flat. The Vogue hard gels adhere better if you do not remove the inhibition layer, so at this point it would probably be best to use tweezers or put on some gloves so that you don't get the uncured gel on your skin. After filing the edges smooth, I will use gel to attach the pieces together and then go over the connection points one more time to make sure they stay attached. I've mounted the scorpion body onto the nail, and you can see here I'm carefully placing the leg onto the body. I would immediately flash cure after any placement of something this small. I base coated the scorpion in orange by mixing lacquer and Sahara and Roxanne together. I added 50 Shades of Red to this mixture to do the recesses. Then I did a highlight with Sahara on the legs and the pincers, finishing off with a final white highlight, and then attaching it to the nail. The Capricorn was a flatter piece, so I was able to sculpt it in 2 sections. I did the body and tail directly onto the nail, and did the head separately on the cling film and attached it in place. I base coated the Capricorn's tail in Evening in Paris, mixed white and black to make gray for the body, and used Sahara for the horns. Then I'll come in with some darker colors to do some shading and draw on the features on the face. Black for the eyes and a final white highlight bring out all the features on this Capricorn. And here's the final nail design. Thank you so much for what? Wait, what do you mean they're not compatible enough? I see your point. I think I have just the thing. That's right, it's Zodiac chibis. I scored the underside of each thumbnail and glued in a magnet. I then took some nail foil paper and wrapped it around the thumbnail. I then put a second magnet on top of the paper and used gel to sculpt out a rough basic shape. Since the chibi is flat, I go and I paint a rough outline before I do my finish filing. I use the same lacquer colors to paint the chibis, only this time I do the paint job cuter. So here's the final Scorpio chibi, and it's holding a heart with the Zodiac sign for the opposite hand, and the Capricorn chibi. So here are the final nails. I promise this time. Thank you so much, Nails Magazine and Vogue. And thank you so much for watching. Please follow, subscribe, and go vote.